रेडी सब तैयार हैं आज। हेलो, गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड आफ्टरनून, गुड इवनिंग, जहां से भी आप जुड़े हो, स्वागत है आपका एक बार फिर से इस लाइव स्ट्रीम पर ऑन द चैनल कॉल आर यू हियर फॉर द क्रिकेट, ब्रॉट टू यू बाय डैफर न्यूज। आई हैव गॉट माय कॉफी, आई हैव गॉट क्रिकेट ऑन माय माइंड एंड आई हैव गॉट ऑल ऑफ यू लवली पीपल जॉइनिंग मी ऑन दिस स्ट्रीम। तो एक सिप लेता हूं कॉफी का, फिर आज का लाइव स्ट्रीम शुरू करते हैं। क्या बात है। तो दोस्तों आज हम इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया के बारे में नहीं बात करेंगे। कल का जो तीसरा T20 था, जो इंडियन टीम हार गई, हम उसके बारे में नहीं बात करेंगे, क्योंकि भाई हम रोज बात कर रहे हैं इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया का। एंड फ्रैंकली आई सेड दिस इज द मोस्ट इनकॉन्सिक्वेंशियल सीरीज of this year for me, given the fact that the T20 World Cup is still too far off to my judgment from the BCCI, their radar. I don't think they're looking at this series as anything more than basic FTP protocol, FTP fulfillment. और अभी तो 10 दिन हुए वनडे वर्ल्ड कप फाइनल के बाद से, तो बहुत सारे फैंस होंगे जो अभी तक निराश होंगे। तो आज सुबह जब मैं खबर ले रहा था, सुबह आई केम अक्रॉस एन आर्टिकल फ्रॉम माय फ्रेंड एंड कॉलीग देवेंद्र पांडे, जो कि मैं मानता हूँ इस एटलीस्ट इंडिया के जो क्रिकेटिंग रिपोर्टर्स हैं वो उनमें से सबसे टॉप पे आते हैं, क्योंकि इनके इनके जो सोर्सेज हैं, इनकी जो खबरें होते हैं बहुत बहुत रिलायबल होते हैं, और it always ends up being true whatever my good friend Devin writes. तो खबर ये है जो आज की इंडियन एक्सप्रेस में छपी है। आई एम श्योर आप लोग देख देख चुके हो। अगर आपने नहीं देखा है तो जाके देवन भाई का वो आर्टिकल जरूर पढ़ना। The article claims that Virat Kohli has requested the BCCI selectors to not select him for the white ball leg, यानी कि T20s और वनडे का जो हिस्सा है आने वाले साउथ अफ्रीका दौरे का, to not pick him. I personally am not surprised, and as the show goes on, I'll get your views as well. पहले मैं अपनी बोलता हूँ। I'm not surprised because, like I said, एक साल से ऊपर हो गया कि विराट कोहली एक T20 मैच खेले हैं देश के लिए। November 10th, 2022 was Virat Kohli's last one day match, T20 match for India, which was in the World Cup. Since then, I believe at least 5 bilateral T20I series have gone on, and Virat Kohli, like Rohit Sharma, has not played one of them. And he just turned 35 a few weeks ago. Virat Kohli उस मकाम पे पहुंचे हैं, या उस जंक्शन पे पहुंचे हैं अपने अंतरराष्ट्रीय करियर पर, जहां पे many players before him have had to take that tough call. Which format do I step away from? To my mind, it's indication enough that Virat Kohli has indeed played his last T20I, because it's been over a year, and I don't see the selectors going back to him. I don't think Virat Kohli खुद वापस जाएंगे अंतरराष्ट्रीय T20 format में, which leaves the one-day format where he scaled peaks that no one saw possible. I mean, he's gone past Sachin Tendulkar's one-time near mythical mark of 49 one-day centuries. Virat Kohli has shattered records. He's kept on shattering records. He's got to where no man has gone before, 50 one-day hundreds. He's got the most runs in a single edition of a World Cup, again breaking Sachin Tendulkar's mark. But looking at now where Virat Kohli is, 35 साल के हैं, शायद उनके पास 3 साल बाकी है। मुझे लगता नहीं है कि जब वो 39 के होंगे तो वो एक और वर्ल्ड कप खेलेंगे। हालांकि बंदा बहुत बहुत फिट है, and I think that will be his legacy, the way that he's raised fitness standards, not just of himself but the whole Indian team. But विराट कोहली 35 साल के हैं। अगर हम वनडे क्रिकेट के बारे में बात करें, तकरीबन 2 साल, बल्कि 2 साल से अंदर चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी होगा। I actually believe that Virat Kohli will play one days. Until then, he will keep himself fit, because he wants to break records. I think he wants to retire from one day cricket by helping India win another trophy. 10 साल से ऊपर हो चुके हैं कि भारतीय मेंस टीम कोई भी आईसीसी ट्रॉफी जीती है। 2013 चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी, and I think it'll be part of Virat Kohli's planning as well as Rohit Sharma's planning to see the team through this transition phase, and hopefully 2 साल के बाद चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी अपने देश को, अपने देश के क्रिकेट फैंस के हाथ दे दे। Then there's Test cricket. Virat Kohli loves Test cricket. It is his most preferred format. और अभी उनको तकरीबन 1400 रन बनाने हैं to get to the 10,000 mark. आप जितनी भी बेहतरीन बैट्समैन हो, लोग आपको गोट कहते हैं, ग्रेट कहते हैं, you do not enter anywhere near the realm of being considered great if you don't cross 10,000 runs in Test cricket. और मुझे हैरानी की बात लगती है कि विराट कोहली अभी भी तकरीबन 8,600 के तकरीबन तक पहुंचे हैं। Of course, he had that slump for 4 years. There was COVID. लेकिन अभी तक मेरा यह मानना है कि विराट कोहली का एक लक्ष्य है 2025 चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी जीतना देश के क्रिकेट प्रेमी के लिए, और फिर 10,000 रन पार करना। तो उस लिहाज से ही इज ऑब्वियसली गोइंग टू हैव टू पिक एंड चूज लाइक आई सेड आई बिलीव कि वो अंतरराष्ट्रीय टी20 नहीं खेलेंगे वो आगे बढ़ चुके हैं but if his goal is to get to 10,000 runs and like I said you cannot be considered remotely near a great if you don't have 10,000 runs in tests I think Virat Kohli personally ye meri reading hai he's going to give his all to keep on playing test cricket for at least 3 years 2 years from now, there's also another WTC final, which I hope the Indian team gets there, and I hope they win it because twice it's been runners-up status for that Indian team. So इस लिहाज से आपसे भी जानना चाहूंगा, what do you think? How should Virat Kohli play out the remainder of his international career at the age of 35? Should he give up one days as well as T20s? Should he look just at playing test cricket? Should he prioritize? He wouldn't be the first player at the age of 35 plus to skip series. And I'm okay with that. You are allowed to, when you're Virat Kohli, when you've achieved so much, you are allowed to skip the odd series. But abhi jo khabar aayi hai, आज के Indian Express mein, if he's looking at skipping the white ball leg of the South Africa tour, that means there's only 2 test matches to play in South Africa. Uske baad, like literally 4 days after the South Africa series, there's a 3 match T20I series against Afghanistan at home. 100% Virat Kohli will not play that because उसके एक हफ्ते बाद इंग्लैंड टीम आ रही है 5 टेस्ट मैचेस के लिए and I'm sure Virat Kohli will play all 5 of those test matches. So when his priority has always been test cricket, when he loves that format, when he gave the team all he had as 5 years captain, when he took the team to number 1 for 5 years, I think Virat Kohli will probably spend more time जितना भी समय उनके पास बाकी है as an international cricketer. I believe it'll primarily be as a test cricketer. He'll play one days, and I hope he plays one days until the 2025 Champions Trophy. लेकिन उस बीच विराट कोहली कितना one-day cricket खेलेंगे, कितना break लेंगे, I think this remains to be seen. And it would not surprise me at all if at some point in the next 2 years, Virat Kohli says, you know what, I'm leaving one days too, and I'm going to play out the remainder of my career as a test batsman. Because that is where, personally, for me, he has given the most joy and satisfaction. He's done some remarkable things across formats. Like in Virat Kohli, the test cricketer, I believe will go on to get well past 10,000 runs. And if even if that means that he skips the odd one-day cricket or he gives up one days entirely. Chali. Now let's see what you all, and I'm sure there's going to be lots of contrasting comments on this live stream. बहुत लोग मेरी बात से सहमत नहीं होंगे, बहुत लोग ये भी मानते होंगे कि विराट कोहली टी20 वर्ल्ड कप खेलेंगे अगले साल, लेकिन मैं आपको बता दूं कि ऐसा कुछ नहीं होगा. शिवम कह रहे हैं, hello शिवम. Shriyansh is back. To be honest, Virat Kohli should retire now and we need to groom new talent. From one days, I think he still will play for 2 years, but I think he's going to get to that phase, if he's not already there, we'll have to pick and choose. Does players still get salary if they refuse? Yes, the top contracted players, tier 1, tier 2, yeah, tier A, B, C, they do get paid even when they're not there because they're contracted. आपको per match fees नहीं मिलेंगे. अगर आप match नहीं खेलते हो, आपको per match fee नहीं मिलेगा, लेकिन you still get a shitload of money because you're contracted. New camera? नहीं भाई, वही iPhone है जो मैं पिछले 1 साल से यूज कर रहा हूँ. मैंने कुछ change नहीं किया. Thoughts on Nehra decline T20 offer? Yeah, I really thought he would be the man, but he doesn't want to do it. No issues. It's a tough job. You travel the whole year. He gets paid a lot of money from IPL franchises. He gets a lot of money from doing commentary. I totally understand why Ashish Nehra said no. It's a very tough job and a thankless job too when you don't win. Dhruvesh Patel, VK and Rohit goal to win WTC? I would hope. I would hope their goal is to play for 2 more years to win the Champions Trophy and to win the WTC. Shreyans Kere, I think going towards Deepak is just the same problem ages. I said this yesterday when I was on a live stream somewhere else. I said the fact that they've gone back to Deepak Chahar, who's not played a match, an international match since October 4th, 2022, who's missed so much cricket. He's injury prone. Bhale aapko ek swing bowler chahiye, but if he comes back, we know that Deepak Chahar's history says that after 4 or 5 matches, he'll be injured. And I really hope that the team starts looking at younger players, Mohsin Khan, Yash Thakur. I don't think 10,000 is a must to be considered a great. It definitely is. You cannot be a great. The basic criteria for being very good is 10,000 runs. So greats, definitely. For me, look, Adam Gilchrist started very late. His test career came about 4 or 5 years after he played one days, But if you want to be a great 10,000 runs, that's minimum criteria. I think it's universally accepted. Rohit Abja, if his goal is to only get to 10,000 runs, then we should be better off moving on from him and focus. Exactly. I said his goal is not just to win 10,000 runs, but it's to definitely get past 10,000. And like I said a couple times, it's also to win India the WTC final. Virat Kohli took the team there in 2021. He failed. He was part of the team last year. He failed. I believe his goal, along with getting to 10,000 runs, to be considered an all time great, would also be to win. Virat Kohli loves Test cricket more than any other format. तो मुझे पूरा यकीन है कि वो 2000 दो साल क्या है 2025 का WTC फाइनल टीम को पूरी कोशिश करेंगे वहां तक ले जाने की. Champions Trophy 2020 will be played in T20 format. No, there's no such news. It's been speculated, but it's far from being confirmed. And I have full confidence that it will not be changed to a T20I format. Darpok coach should be sacked ASAP. He always goes for Darpok players. India would continue to lose. You've written loose instead of lose critical matches. I mean, harsh statement, but I get where it comes from. Dhruv Sinha, do you think we'll still prepare those sharp turning tracks for the England test just to win the No, 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 no. That will backfire. England will also bring their spinners. And we saw how it backfired against Matthew Kuhneman and Todd Murphy. So definitely not getting 5 spinning tracks. 2 maybe, not 5. Shubhajit, makes sense for Kohli to take a break, but I would have liked a young team being sent to the World T20. They're still 5 months away. You might get a young team, but I do not believe Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, and Virat Kohli should be on the flight to the West Indies next year. Not at all. Stick with Rinku. Do not ditch Rinku because you want to play Virat Kohli. Do not ditch Jitesh Sharma because you want to play KL Rahul. Do not ditch Ruturaj Gaikwad because you want to play Rohit Sharma. Send these people who are between 25 and 30. I think it's much, much better. And there'll be less pressure on these guys. Can India win Test series against South Africa? I would like to say yes, but if it's never happened before, I don't see this team doing it. And oddly, it's only a 2-match series. Very strange. Tarun, hi. I totally agree. Virat should focus on Tests only and respectfully should announce retirement from white ball. Such greats should say goodbye on a high, perfect time now. Not perfect because unfortunately he didn't win the World Cup, but yes, 51-day hundreds, unthinkable 10 years ago. The most runs in a single World Cup. In that sense, it's a great time to go. But I still believe Virat Kohli is fit enough, is driven enough to play until India hopefully win the 2025 Champions Trophy. That would be a much better way to bow out in terms of having a trophy. And I think the team is capable of winning the Champions Trophy 2 years from now. Nihar Kere, I agree with you, Jamie. Kohli should play Test, should not play T20. Again, he's moved on from T20s. आप मुझसे लिख सकते हो. In 2007, seniors didn't play and we made history. When people doesn't have expectations, we win. Well, unfortunately, with the Indian team, there'll always be expectations, but I believe this team will do much, much better in terms of winning the Champions Trophy 2 years from now. जय नवीन टेक्नो प्रसिद्ध कृष्णा के बारे में आप क्या सोचते हैं? I'm a big fan of him. I think he's got a long future in one-day cricket and Test cricket, but for God's sake, remove the guy from T20s. It's not his format. क्या शार्दुल को T20 में मौका मिल सकता है? भाई मौका तो इरफान पठान को भी मिल सकता है, but I don't think the team should look back at Shardul. Why is cricket slowly declining in Sena countries? Is it? This is the first time I've heard that. It's extremely popular in England. It's extremely popular in Australia. I mean, look at the crowds they get. New Zealanders love their cricket. I'm not sure where you have got this khabar ke it's declining in Sena countries. In fact, it's declining in Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Not Sena at all. कोई पागल ही होगा जो कोहली को ओडीआई से दूर रखे. Let him rest. Still more for him. Well, उस लिहाज से पागल तो विराट कोहली है ना जो खुद कह रहे हैं कि मुझे मत ले लो. Naughty question, Anup. Any news on Rishabh Pant be fit for T20 World Cup? Like I said yesterday, he is aiming to come back in the last week of January for the Ranji Trophy. That's obviously not enough time to pick him for the 5 Test matches against England. Logically, his target will be to resume really competitive T20 cricket when the IPL starts. अगर ऋषभ पंत का पहला महीना अच्छा गया IPL में, then we can see him come back for the T20 World Cup. Definitely. SS98, wouldn't it be better if Virat and Rohit plays ODI in South Africa to get used to conditions before the Test series? Absolutely. I'm surprised if Virat Kohli is asked for rest. I would have fully, and I've said it before, I fully expected Rohit and Virat to play the one days. Rohit should play because not just because of preparation, these guys have a lot to offer the team in one day cricket. And by lot, I mean transitioning this team. You cannot just dump Rohit Sharma overnight because he didn't win the World Cup. He's in great batting form. Yes, I don't think he should play too much longer, but right now it's very important that Jaiswal ho ya Gill ho, whoever you're grooming to be your next long-term opener, whoever you're grooming to be the next captain, until the Champions Trophy, रोहित और विराट का खेलना मेरे हिसाब से काफी जरूरी है. Should Rohit and Virat team India without Rohit and Virat team India looking like India A? It is, but again, we're talking about two of the greatest white ball players the country's ever produced. So, zahir si baat hai. What's your thoughts on Rahul Dravid had offered contract renewal? Well, I'm very, very surprised they did because I had heard from well-placed sources that the BCCI was not going to extend his contract. He's been offered it, but I mean, I know the team got there, but I have genuine concerns about the way Rahul Dravid led this team in the last 2 years. So I think it's time to move on from him. Is England Test part of WTC? Of course, of course, of course it is. Of course it is. Shreyan Sharma, the impact player ID in IPL is a bad idea. I don't know who's behind it, but yeah, it's a bad idea. We've discussed it before. When we as a cricket will move on from star culture, भाई ये सवाल कितनी बार आ चुका है और मेरे पास जवाब इसका नहीं है दोस्त. We don't have the bowling attack to win any championship, be it ODI, T20 or WTC. Every time they fail drastically in crunch matches. Well, not every time. India lost the ODI World Cup final not because of the bowlers, because the batsmen. I've said it again. You cannot even. I mean, did the Indian team think they could win with 240 when you only put four boundaries up in 40 overs, of which two boundaries came from Shami and Siraj? India didn't lose the World Cup final because of bowling. The batsmen lost that match. Barring Rohit Sharma, every single person who held a bat on that day in Ahmedabad, they lost the match. So the bowlers got you to the final. Let's not mistake. Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma didn't get Indian team to the final. The bowlers, the best bowling attack ever assembled in a World Cup, bowled India into the World Cup final. Who let the team down on the biggest day? The batsmen. When in 40 overs, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, Ravindra Jadeja, Suryakumar Yadav, and all these jokers could only manage four boundaries in 40 overs, my friend, that's where the World Cup was lost, not the bowlers at all. First, they wanted Nehra to lead, but he denied. Yep, that's true. He said no. Gautam Gambhir could be good coach for T20 coach looking at performance at LSG. Let's see how he goes about with KKR this year. But again, these people who have other interests and other businesses, it's very, very tough for them to spend, half the year with the team. So I would not be surprised if Gambhir was offered, and I would not be surprised if Gambhir denied because it's a tough job being a coach. I personally still think Virat should play the next year's T20 World Cup. That's your view. That's your view. I respect it. But what about Virat Kohli, the one-day player? Not enough of you are asking me the question. Should he prioritize one day? Should he skip one days? What should he do? I think Virat Kohli should play one days until India reach the final of the Champions Trophy in 2 years' time, as well as the summer of 2025 when there's a WTC final to be won. I hope so. 2 years for Rohit, 2 years for Virat Kohli. उस बीच आपको यहाँ वहाँ के one day series skip करने हैं. आपकी मर्जी है. I have no issue with it. But overall, if Virat Kohli wants to choose one format, what should that format be? I think if he wants to play one format and his goal is to win the WTC, then definitely he'll have to give up ODI cricket. That's my view on the matter. बताइए और कोई है सवाल? Like I said, I'm not discussing yesterday's T20 match. I watched the first. No, sorry, I didn't. I watched 2 overs. I think I watched the fifth and sixth, and then I watched the last 2 overs. I didn't even watch the bowling. So utterly useless series. Tarun is given $5 super chat. Tarun, my friend, thank you so much. What do you think about our spinners unable to get a single wicket in big final? No one talking about it. Well, my friend, I discussed this on this channel twice. I discussed this on another couple shows after the World Cup final. I said for me, the biggest disappointment after the most obvious, the most bizarre thing that I've seen in 28 years of watching cricket, and that is 4 boundaries and 4 overs. The next biggest disappointment was the fact that Jadeja and Kuldeep did not get a single wicket because they'd been very, very good in getting the team wickets before that. But again, the ball was a sponge. The ball was like a bar of soap, and Travis Head played an innings for the ages. I'm not going to single out that part as a major factor because 240 is not enough against an Australian team. So Yes, surprising, but it's not the reason why Travis Head got 100 and why Australia chased 240 with ease. So um, it's been discussed a lot. They didn't bowl. They didn't bowl badly. Kuldeep bowled the same way he'd been bowling. The field placings were a disappointment. Yes, there were times when a short mid wicket was missing. There were times when a slip was very obviously missing, and a time when third man bled runs. A couple edges off the spinners did go there for four, but overall, yes, surprising to me that the two spinners didn't get a single wicket. But that was not the reason India lost. India lost because of the batsmen. What will be our bowling attack for T20? My friend, it's anyone's guess. मुकेश कुमार को अचानक याद आई कि भाई मेरी शादी है और सिलेक्टर्स वापस गए दीपक चाहर के पास जो अक्टूबर 4 से एक भी अंतरराष्ट्रीय मैच नहीं खेले सो इट्स एनीवन्स गेस I think highest runner and highest wicket taker is curse for India. It definitely is, my friend. It definitely is. Everyone's talking about VK and Rohit bad in knockouts, but no one talks about how bad Bumrah is in knockouts. Again, I mean, I think you have to see how many matches these two have played and how many matches Bumrah have played. Bumrah does exceptionally well in league matches, as do Virat and Virat Kohli. Coming back to the ODI World Cup final, yes, Bumrah didn't run through teams, but he was not anywhere near as bad as Mohammad Siraj and Mohammad Shami was. He still, out of the five bowlers bowled in the final, he was still head and shoulders the best bowler. So I'm not going to be too harsh on him in regards to the one day World Cup final. Anup कह रहे Virat fitness can continue in tests, but priority should be ODIs. Rest he can retire from T20 after 24 World Cup. He's got the fitness, but I believe he's already retired from T20, so he won't be playing there. And I'll stand by my prediction of 2 years in tests and 2 years in one days. Amandeep, from where we'll get our next set of fast bowlers and replacement of Ashwin. पहले भी कह चुका हूं दोस्त अश्विन का कोई रिप्लेसमेंट नहीं है अफसोस की बात है बट वो भी एक वंस इन अ जनरेशनल टैलेंट है कोई भी बॉलर किसी भी टीम से कभी 500 विकेट नहीं लेगा टेस्ट मैच में in replace to fast bowlers you have the fast bowlers but why aren't you picking them you're still going back to Deepak Chahar and Arshdeep Singh has looked very poor in this series. Prasidh Krishna has looked very poor. I think Arshdeep will probably not play much. I think Prasidh Krishna is the ODI and Test bowler. There are young bowlers coming through, but you have to pick them, and selectors are not picking them. Selectors will probably go back to Bhuvaneshwar if given a chance, just because he's taking wickets for UP in this match. So Crick Maniac, Jamie Bhai, regarding World Cup batting, not to forget, Rohit batted in best batting condition on that pitch compared to other India batters. Knowing the pitch, he should have played like he did versus England. ये पहले भी कह चुका हूं and I'm not going to entertain this. I mean, ये आपकी व्यू है मैं आपकी व्यू को मानता हूं पर 11 में से 9 बार इसी अंदाज से खेलते हुए रोहित शर्मा गेव द टीम स्टार्ट रोहित शर्मा का ब्रीफ नहीं था 100 बनाना रोहित शर्मा का ब्रीफ नहीं था 35 ओवर खेलना रोहित शर्मा का ब्रीफ था खुद से और कोचिंग स्टाफ से कि भैया 10 ओवर में अगर आप हमें 90 दे सकते हो हमें 90 रन्स दीजिए एंड ही डिड दैट व्हेन ही गॉट आउट देयर वाज 80 रन्स ऑन द बोर्ड द अदर जोकर्स दे लेट रोहित शर्मा डाउन and I know many of you feel that he shouldn't have played that shot. I'm not going to reiterate because I've said it in half a dozen shows. World Cup final के दिन कोई भी सच्चा क्रिकेट प्रेमी कोई भी सच्चा इंडियन रोहित शर्मा की तरफ उंगली उठाकर बात नहीं कर सकता because this man put himself before the team and the way he batted was a major reason for India, consistently getting start. So again, आपको लगे बुरा लगे आपको लेकिन मैं रोहित शर्मा के खिलाफ नहीं हूं पूरे वर्ल्ड कप में. The guy did his job, but it was the bowlers ultimately who got you into the final. Any pacer bowling below 135 should not be picked. Well, then you don't have much, right? But I get your point. Avik is saying, although both Sir Viv and Mwa both have around 8K in tests, I agree modern batsmen do chase the 10,000 runs. It just has to be, my friend. You have if you want to be considered an all-time great in this era of bowlers not being as good as they were when Sir Viv played, when Mark Waugh played, when Sachin played, flat tracks, 3-day test matches, 10,000 runs to be a great. मेरे हिसाब से भाई वो तो मिनिमम है. मोहसिन खान बिल्कुल मोहसिन खान यश ठाकुर हैं bowlers हैं कि क्या नाम है उसका कमलेश नागरकोटी शिवम मावी try these guys not try them. Umran Malik I don't know he had a bad IPL, and unfortunately, IPL is the yardstick for selection to Indian team. So that's probably beneath why he's not around. मार खाना है अगर इंडियन टीम ने बॉलर्स का क्राइटेरिया है तो उमरान मलिक में क्या बुराई थी और प्रसिद्ध कृष्णा और अर्शदीप सिंह में क्या स्पेशलिटी? मैं तो कब से कह रहा हूँ उमरान मलिक को खिलाओ, बट मेरी कोई सुनता नहीं है. Ravi Bishnoi is perfect replacement of UG. Well, there's nothing as perfect, but definitely look at his record. He's India's fifth most successful bowlers in T20 in the last 5 years. So he's the future. He has to play. Why the fielding is so bad in India? It's not bad. It's very good and then it's bad. But the fluctuation is the problem. Ravi Bishnoi has taken some blinders, but he's also dropped some catches. You cannot say India's fielding is bad because when it's good, it's very very good. But unfortunately, जब बुरा है तो लगता है कि हमेशा खराब है. But yeah. Anyway, my friends, thank you for joining. कल मैं हूँ, Friday को हूँ. It's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 5 days I'm traveling. I don't think I'll do regular programming in those 5 days. Like I said, it's a very, very dull T20I series going on. But do come back and join me tomorrow. Definitely join me. Join me on Friday. And if I get time on Saturday morning before I go to the airport, I will try to get back. Is champion trophy shifted from Pakistan? No, it's not. It'll be like the Asia Cup. They'll have hybrid matches, hybrid model. Last comment. Kohli and Rohit should retire from the T20 format. They already have. And let youngsters take over. Mohsin Khan is injured and has lost his pace and swing. It's obvious. Yes, he's injured, but he also came back to bowl very, very well after that fractured leg. So I believe people like him are the future. फिगर इंडिया पर कब आ रहे हो दोस्त? फिगर इंडिया से अनफॉर्चुनेटली मैं आगे बढ़ चुका हूं. मेरी कल ही बात हुई उनसे. कपल थिंग्स aren't quite matching, तो I don't know. I want to go back post December 7th, like I mentioned in a video on my other channel, but I don't know. Right now, it's things have changed there, and it's not the best place to be right now. Shashank Fusion has given 449 rupees super chat. Love the stash. Like I said, it's for a web series I've been shooting. I shot in Amritsar for a day. I shot in Bombay for a day, and I'm going back on Saturday for 2 more days. Personally, like you all know, I don't like it, but yeah, it's for a role. I'm playing a British lieutenant colonel in a historical web series. So, anyways, guys, love you all. Thanks for the comments. Thank you for the super chats to both of you who gave it. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Jai Hind.